All right. Welcome. We are now live. Thank you so much for joining me. Today, we're going to talk about 5 secrets. Okay, maybe not really secrets, but we're going to talk about 5 ways to avoid being sued, which I know this kind of goes counter to what most people think of attorneys. But I'll tell you something. I would much rather have a client come to me before they had a legal problem than after. It is a lot less expensive, and I can get better results that way. So if you are new here, my name is Taylor Darcy. I am with Think Legal, and I help entrepreneurs and small businesses build the business of their dream. And as always, my voice or something decides to start giving me junk the very second I start talking. I'm excited to have you here. Thank you so much for joining me today. And if you're watching this on the replay, please feel free to join us. I go live every weekday at 11 a.m. And here to answer questions and help you with legal needs. But more importantly, to widen my influence, to get out there and put myself out there and help business owners to be more profitable. So let's get started. First and foremost, the best way to, the one secret that a lot of people don't follow when they want to avoid litigation is they don't plan on it. And the reality is a substantial number of people are going to get sued. More than they might think they will. And a lot of people have says, well, it hasn't happened to me so far, so it's probably not. But there's like a 60 to 70% chance likely that you're going to get sued when you're in business. A lot of it has to do with people think that businesses have deeper pockets. And that's true most of the time, not all of the time. So the key in that instance is that you want to make sure that you're planning on it, and part of that is that you implement this process that I talk to my clients about first and foremost as a way to shield yourself from litigation. The old adage, hope for the best, plan for the worst sort of thing will more likely not keep you from getting sued. The people that don't plan on getting sued are the ones that usually end up getting sued. And it's expensive and it's detrimental to your business. And overall, it isn't optimal to get sued. So these are in no particular order. So it's more of a package thing that you want to keep in mind when you're trying to avoid litigation. Number one, having proper insurance. For instance, if you're driving an automobile, don't carry the minimums. It sets you up for disaster, especially with as expensive vehicles as they have these days. When you figure the average vehicle is around $20,000 to $30,000 and the legal minimum is $15,000, if you totaled another vehicle, you're looking at $20,000 to $30,000, and the insurance company's only going to cover 15 of that. And that makes it so that you're more likely to get sued. Same thing goes with, for instance, if you own a business, having a general liability insurance policy. Someone comes onto your property and trips and falls. They're going to, you don't have insurance, they're going to sue you. And there's just really no way around that. Because, especially if you knew that there was a danger, say your carpet is not laid down correctly, they're going to sue everybody they can. And so having proper insurance as a business owner, making sure you have commercial insurance if you have vehicles in your fleet, to prevent people from, you don't want people using their personal vehicles on company time, because personal insurance won't cover commercial things. So having proper insurance is one of the best ways to prevent litigation, because a lot of times insurance companies will settle. Now, before it even gets to litigation, here's the caveat to that. And this is why I say this is not a one-size-fits-all program. And that's because there are certain instances when insurance companies don't cover your or potential liability. And one, if it's not covered under your policy. So, and two, if it exceeds your policy limits, like I mentioned in the vehicle accident factor. If you only have a $15,000 policy and the damages are, you get into an accident with a brand new, Cadillac Esplanade. Anyway, brand new Lamborghini. We'll just use that. I can say that word. Then you're looking at the damages being substantially more. Your insurance company won't cover a Lamborghini, right? Now, for the most part, you don't have to worry about running into a Lamborghini. You more have to worry about the Lamborghini running into you. But my point is still valid that most vehicles cost well more than the bare minimum. So having a full policy that covers more than the bare minimum, and also for bodily injury, because that's where the medical bills can really mount up for insurance. In fact, that's the majority of it. So you want to have a healthy bottom, but also to have a more than just the minimum. The next secret is if you're a business, having a correct business entity, which can make you judgment proof. An LLC, a corporation, all of these are different entities that you can have, and we're not going to go into those a ton. But the idea that it can shield your personal assets from a potential lawsuit. And when you do that, you're limiting your liability. That's the purpose of a corporation. That's the purpose of an LLC. And by doing so, if you have substantial assets in your home, then they can't attach your home. They can only attach your properties that are within the LLC or corporation. And so that's another way that you can basically judgment proof yourself. The LLC takes the hit and you don't. Now, of course, there are some exceptions to that, and we won't go into those, but these are just 5 ways that you can, 5 secrets that you can protect yourself, your business from being subject to a lawsuit. The next way is to have your contracts in order. And I mean, like really in order, not just something that you download off the internet. The stuff that you download off the internet is typically junk, because what they have to do is they have to throw in a bunch of provisions that you may or may not even know you need, and they're not tailored specifically to you, and they also don't have some of the provisions that I discuss with my clients to help prevent them from being sued by using mediation, arbitration, and other means to make it so that it's more advantageous to keep it out of court. And so you want to have specific service contracts. You want to have specific goods contracts, specific vendor contracts. All of these are part of the package of doing business that you should invest in. Look at it as an investment, because in law and in business, an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. It is substantially more expensive to deal with lawsuit than it is to have someone draft a proper contract for you that prevents litigation. Litigation can be anywhere between $5,000 to $30,000, and that's on the low end of things, versus a well drafted contract can be $1,000. And I know that sounds like a lot of money, but if you're more likely than not to get sued, it's really not a lot of money considering. And so you really want to have your contracts so in order, so that people know what can be expected. As I said in one of my previous videos, and this is true of my one of my law professors used to say that if it goes without saying, it usually goes better with saying. And your contracts are the best place to make sure that it goes with saying, and that it's protected, and it's protecting you and the client, for that matter, the customer. If you're just joining us, we're talking about 5 secrets to avoiding litigation as a business owner. If you have any questions, please leave them in the chat. I would love to answer them. And we are now talking about our last but equally important step, and that is document everything. Everything that can go through email should go through email. You should kind of avoid text messages if you can, because those don't tend to archive as well. And you have to take screenshots of them unless you're an attorney, where we go in and we'll do the detail on it. But you really want to document everything. Make sure that you have a well-kept record of things with your clients, because although you can't guarantee it, it's easier to prove and it's easier to show that someone did or did not do something to prevent them from going further. Because a lot of times, any good attorneys that I know will send out a demand letter, and if you can refute that demand letter through making sure that people send them the right documentation, you can end a lawsuit before it even begins. Now, that doesn't mean that you can absolutely end it, because there are some attorneys that will still file lawsuits. But the idea being that if you can eliminate most of them, then you're going to save yourself quite a bit of time. And so the key is taking a proactive approach to your business as opposed to a passive. A lot of business owners, they just take a passive approach to that they think that it won't happen to them. But like I said, by planning to succeed, by planning to be that you might get sued, more likely than not, you're not going to get sued. And this is all very important because, like I said, as lawsuits are expensive and they can severely impact your business. And the idea being that you want to limit your exposure as much as possible. Now, these are just 5 of the ways. We're going to talk about more as we get more into helping you with your business. We're going to talk about a lot more ways to protect yourself. And more importantly, for instance, and one of the things we're going to talk about in our future video is, especially if you start a business, what a buy-sell agreement is. A buy-sell agreement is a document that a company uses to make sure that it plans for the 5 Ds: death, divorce, dissolution, disagreement, and disability. And when you sit down and when you take these and you apply them, it really eliminates the option that litigation can be a factor, because it can be clear. It's clear that how to exit or how to enter the business. It's clear that if there's a dispute, how it's going to be resolved. And so as again, to sum up, if it goes without saying, it usually goes better with saying. So if you've gotten value from this video, please hit like and subscribe. I look forward to helping you with your business, and we'll see you all tomorrow.